Imagine having to pay twice as much for the fuel of your car, for the heating of your home, for the products you use every day. This could become reality if OPEC and its allies keep cutting oil production. This is what they did on Sunday, April 2nd, when they announced to reduce their supply by 1.16 million barrels per day, pushing oil prices to levels not seen in years. But why did OPEC make such a radical decision? What are its true intentions? And how can we protect ourselves from this threat? In this video, we will review everything you need to know about OPEC's production cut and its consequences for the world. OPEC is the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, an association that brings together 13 countries that own 90% of the world's oil reserves. OPEC's aim is to coordinate the oil policies of its members to stabilize oil prices and ensure an adequate supply to consumer countries. OPEC Plus is a larger group that also includes another 10 oil-producing countries, including Russia, OPEC's main rival. OPEC Plus announced on April 2nd to cut its oil production by 1.16 million barrels per day starting from May, bringing the total of cuts to 3.66 million barrels per day, equal to 3.7% of global demand. This decision surprised the market and made oil prices rise by $5 per barrel, exceeding $85 per barrel. But why did OPEC Plus decide to cut its production? There are several reasons that led OPEC Plus to reduce its oil supply. The first one is the concern for weakness of global oil demand caused by Western banking crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the restrictive measures adopted in many countries to contain the virus. These factors have reduced fuel consumption for transport and industrial activity, making oil prices fall towards $70 per barrel, the lowest in 15 months. OPEC Plus wanted to anticipate a possible contraction of demand and support the stability of the oil market. The second reason is to punish speculators who bet on lower oil prices. The Saudi Energy Minister, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, had already warned traders not to bet too much against oil, saying he would try to make the market nervous and promising that those who played on the price of oil would suffer a lot. Before the last cut, hedge funds had reduced their net position in WTI oil, the U.S. benchmark, to just 56 million barrels by March 21, the lowest level since February 2016. The OPEC Plus cut hit hard those who bet against oil. The third reason is to seek higher prices for oil. Many analysts say that OPEC Plus wanted to put a floor under oil prices at $80 per barrel, while UBS and Rystad predicted a return to $100 per barrel. However, excessively high oil prices represent a risk for OPEC Plus as they accelerate inflation, also for goods that the group needs to buy. They also encourage higher production increases from non-OPEC countries and investments in alternative sources of energy. Goldman Sachs say that OPEC's power has increased in recent years as U.S. shale responses to higher prices have become slower and smaller, partly because of pressure from investors to stop funding fossil fuel projects. What are the consequences of OPEC Plus's production cut? The production cut by OPEC Plus has had both positive and negative effects on the global energy market and consumers. Among the positive effects we can mention an increase in revenues for oil-producing countries, which can benefit from higher fiscal and currency income. This can help countries finance their public budgets, their social programs, and their economic diversification projects. An incentive for energy transition towards cleaner and renewable sources. Higher oil prices can make alternative fuels more competitive, such as natural gas, hydrogen, and electricity. They can also stimulate demand for electric and hybrid vehicles, which reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Greater energy security for oil importing countries, which can reduce their dependence on foreign suppliers. Higher oil prices can encourage countries to develop their national resources, to improve energy efficiency, and to diversify their sources of supply. Among the negative effects, instead, we can mention an increase in costs for consumers of oil and its derivatives, such as gasoline, diesel, and kerosene. Higher oil prices can affect the purchasing power of consumers and the spending for transport. They can also fuel inflation and reduce economic growth. Greater instability in the oil market, which can be subject to sudden and speculative fluctuations. Higher oil prices can attract more investments from non-OPEC producers, which can increase their supply in the future. They can also trigger geopolitical tensions between oil-producing and consuming countries. Less attention to environmental sustainability, which can be sacrificed in favor of profit. Higher oil prices can discourage investments in green technologies and energy efficiency. They can also increase greenhouse gas emissions and global warming. How does it affect us consumers? The production cut by OPEC Plus affects us as consumers in different ways. First of all, we can expect to pay more for the fuel for our cars, our motorcycles, or our planes. According to experts, the OPEC Plus cut could have an impact on gas prices in the United States of about 10 cents per gallon. In Italy, instead, the average price of gasoline has already risen to 1.85 euros per liter. This means that we have to be more careful with our budget and try to save fuel or opt for more eco-friendly means of transport. Moreover, we can expect to pay more for other products that depend on oil, such as fertilizers, pesticides, chemicals, plastics, and drugs. This means that we have to be more aware of our consumption and try to reduce our environmental impact. Finally, we can expect to see changes in the global geopolitical and energy landscape, which can have repercussions on our security and well-being. This means that we have to be more informed and involved in global issues that concern oil and its alternatives. This is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel to not miss the next videos. Thank you for your attention and see you next time.